Let's talk to some Arsenal fans and find out exactly how they are feeling at the moment. Campbell's one of those. Campbell, good evening to you.
You're right there, guys. How are we doing?
Well, good, man. How are you? What did you make of all of that?
Well, I just don't think that the American owners understand our football, really, and that it should be checked. You know, when they do their checks for the owners of these clubs, they should check what they think before they agree to let them buy them.
Do you mean is it the fit and proper persons test? Do you mean that one?
Yeah, those ones, because Stan Kroenke, for example, I think he's from St. Louis and took his own team from St. Louis to LA. And all of his friends who supported that team could no longer go and watch their team because he took them to LA because it was a bigger cash cow. And we don't hear from him, so how can we trust him? Would you trust, can you imagine if Delia Smith went and bought Carlisle and then took the whole Norwich team to Carlisle and shut Norwich down? Just wouldn't happen.
It's a good analogy you're going to say.
But it has happened in the past, MK Dons. Yeah, that's how that came about. So it has happened in the past, and you're right. The supporters weren't happy, and they're still not happy about it, and rightly so. You know what I mean? But the good thing is, people in Milton Keynes got to see football, an established club. But the people where it came from, the history behind it, obviously, hold a huge grudge, and rightly so.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they don't understand it from the fans' point of view. And I think it's very funny that Real Madrid and Barcelona are the two still left in when they both have 900 million quid in debt. Yeah. And each club would have got $1 billion for joining. You know, it's a little bit fishy with Florentino as the architect of that project.
Well, he's still adamant it's going ahead.
Well, you know, he needs it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, but Barcelona have released a statement, and it's not a convincing statement, the one they released. It's not condemning the European Super League and apology, really. It's they kind of think, but it needed to go ahead for the sustainability of football. That's because there's a club that are absolutely skint at this moment in time.
Michael's up next, an Arsenal fan. You can have your say if you're an Arsenal fan. 08717 223344. In fact, you don't even need to be an Arsenal fan if you want to give your view. I want to hear it. Hello, Michael.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Well, good. Thanks for asking. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I just want to make a few points, and I'm going to try and be as succinct as I can.
Okay.
One, in terms of do I trust the club? I trust the club in terms of the manager and the players, but the owners, I wouldn't even give them the time of day. Reason being, it's very easy to sit in a boardroom and say the second question that we asked is, are the fans going to be on board with this? I think that's a cop-out. It's easier for him to sit there and say that. Number two, I think it should be law in this country that all UK or all Premier League football clubs must have fans on the board. I don't know how they do it, they can work it out, but they've got to be. Because otherwise, it is just going to happen again.
But they'll say they're fans. Yeah. They'll say they've got fans on the board.
Yeah.
But they're all fans of the club. So it's a very I know where you're coming from, and you've got to have a different array of people on the board, of any board. We know that. But unfortunate, they will say, well, Lord Harrison Peckham, he's a fan of Arsenal and he's on the board.
Yeah, but these have got to be fans. I mean, you have to define the word fan, right? So they've got to be fans that are have the history of the club. They are actual football fans. They go to games.
But they'll unpick. Listen, it'll be one fan. If there was ever going to be a fan on the board, it'd be one fan. It won't be on every single board meeting. They'll be on certain parts of it because they won't want to tell a fan the financial situation of the club. Well, then that fan could go off and tell every other fan. Because that just is not going to happen.
Also, Michael, imagine a fan in a boardroom sat opposite Stan Kroenke, and Stan Kroenke says, "Right, I've got this idea. We can make about 2 or 3 billion." Do you think the fan's going to be able to poo-poo that idea?
Well, I don't think they should poo-poo it, but I think there's a conversation to be had.
No, he won't. Why would he listen to him? Listen, I'd love you to be right, but you're never ever going to get a fan in a boardroom ever.
Well, I think that needs to change. I mean, they need to look at maybe the Germany model. And I think that
where the fans own 51% of it.
Yeah, otherwise it's going to happen again. I mean, what's stopping this guy going around and saying, right, well, here's another European Super League. I've asked the fans that I consider to be right. I've asked them, they agree. We're going ahead with it, and then we're back into the same situation.
Well,
I mean, what's stopping him doing it?
He has said in that meeting. Thanks for your call, Michael. He has said in that meeting that if they're ever offered the chance to join a Super League, he would consult the fans. I don't really know what consult the fans means.
I mean, how does that go about? Right, we've been asked to join a Super League, so we're going to do a vote. I've put it out on social media, yes or no. I mean, how are they going to do that? Are all the clubs at the same time?
Vote. It just said consult. We'll speak to the fans and then we'll make our decision. I think that's what consult means. Harry's an Arsenal fan. Hi, Harry.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Our pleasure, Harry. Off you go.
I'm just quite surprised, in all honesty, that I honestly thought, you look at what the other guy said a couple of calls back about him moving his football club from St. Louis over to was it Los Angeles. He was clearly, when he bought Arsenal, he had plans of lifting up roots. Maybe not in the sense of moving us from London to Manchester or anything like that, but something that was always going to stir the pot. This NFL, MLS, this American sort of league structure that they have just seems to be the end game for all of these American owners. So I'm just really surprised now that they're not, now that they've found out they can't get this closed group league, that they're gonna persist with it. It just seems really odd to me.
Well, at this moment in time, they're not, but there will be other ideas. We're going to experience it again, probably within the next 5 years. I think there's going to keep being different moves on this. It's not the end, this, is it? It's the end for now. It's the end for now, and the fans were heard. But will it be the end? It's something's going to happen again. There's going to be another move down the line in another couple of years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever it may be.
Harry, thanks for your call. To speak to Adam, a Sunderland fan. Hi, Adam.
Hi, are you okay?
Good, how are you?
Hi, fine, thank you. Just a quick one, really. I was just obviously listening to the Arsenal fan a couple of calls back about how they try to do it the right way and stuff like that. But realistically, their chairman, their owner, doesn't want to spend any money. And what you've always had in football history is rich people coming in, Jack Walker types, Berlusconi, Abramovich, people such as that, and putting money into clubs to bring them up to a level where they're competing at the top. And if you go to like a German model, where the fans own the majority of the club, that makes it really difficult because no one's going to come in, not have a controlling interest, and still put, the billions that, Sheikh Mansour and Abramovich put into clubs.
Saying that, Bayern Munich have spent a few quid over the past few years. And paying big wages, yeah.
But they're at the peak. In the Bundesliga, no one competes with them. Basically, you've got the odd Borussia Dortmund, but everybody else, they're nowhere near them. And it's a one club league. Whereas in Britain, you've got if I become a billionaire overnight, I can buy Sunderland and I can pump the money in to get them back to where they were in the 50s, the Bank of England club.
Yeah, there's no guarantee of success. If you look at the teams that have won the Premier League title over however many years, I mean, it's Leicester that break the mould, but it's
money helps. It tends to be money, though. Look at Manchester United's dominance was money. There's a lot of money involved with Manchester United, a very rich club, global around the world, the support base and everything. Arsenal came into it for a while under Wenger. They had a strong squad. They invested and paid big wages to some of their players. And they got put to one side when the money of Chelsea come in and they overtook Arsenal, and Arsenal found it hard to catch back up. And then Manchester City coming in with all their money and overtook a lot of them. So that's what money does play a huge part.
Of course it does. Howard's an Arsenal fan. Hi, Howard.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Darren. Good afternoon. Listen to you a lot, night and day. I'm a lorry driver.
Oh, good work, Howard. Good work.
I just wanted to put forward, I had a discussion today with a Tottenham fan, a very good friend of mine from childhood, and I don't think the actual fundamentals of this idea is not too much of a bad idea. It's just been put across wrong and too early. Where they said there would be no relegation for these sides, can you ever, in your lifetime, ever see a Man City now, a Man United, an Arsenal, or probably Arsenal more likely, or a Chelsea ever getting relegated?
Yeah. Look at Leeds United. Yeah, of course I can.
Well, I have to disagree with the money they spend on players because they just buy their way out of trouble.
What about Leeds United? They spent a fortune. Got to the semi-finals of the Champions League, went down.
But that was many years ago, Andy, wasn't it?
Wasn't that many?
I don't know. The football's changed a lot since then. I'm not saying I totally agree, especially with the way it's done. I don't agree with it.
But the problem is, Howard. The problem is, if you had this breakaway European Super League, and you had the likes of Arsenal and Spurs and all the other clubs you know about, the money involved in that would be so great that if these clubs were still allowed to play Premier League football, they would treat every league game like a Carabao Cup game.
Okay, this is where it needs. This is what my second point where I was going to tweak it, Andy.
Go on.
I believe, right, that now what of UEFA? UEFA, as far as we know, are one of the most corrupt football organisations known to man. Am I right or wrong?
Well, go on.
With the amount of corruption within FIFA and UEFA,
Right.
I think this consortium of teams got together to say, well, we can do it better. We've got to pay our Aubameyangs, Paul Pogba's $300,000 a week, which is obscene. There should be a wage cap worldwide on all football. No more than 100,000. Then you're going to get the passion from the players saying, like Harry Kane. And talkSPORT are guilty for it. Oh, he's worth this amount of money. He should be on 500,000 a week. No.
Yeah, but the problem is Howard.
His heart decides which club he wants to play.
I know, but the problem is, Howard. And listen, I hear what you're saying, and in an ideal world, maybe. But the problem is, the Premier League as a commodity is worth billions upon billions, and it's worth that much because you've supposedly got the best players in the world playing in it. And then that means the Premier League can sell that product to people like BT and Sky for £5 billion. And the reason it's worth so much is because they have the best players, and they have the best players because they pay the best wages. So it's a catch-22, isn't it?
He's right about the wages, though. I mean, and plus we've never said someone should be paid 500 grand a week.
Messi, should he be paid 500?
No, I mean you can't justify it.
Oh, I don't know.
You can't. Come on,
but
you
other
can't
basketball
justify
players do,
right? Why do you think Barcelona are in trouble financially?
No, but because
think about it, mate. Because they're paying wages they can't afford, so that shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, I'm talking about
so
Messi.
When it
I'm talking
comes
about
to
Messi.
it's
I'm talking about Messi.
turnover,
I'm talking about
wages.
Messi.
Yes,
I know
but wages to turnover.
Is
That's
Messi
what it should be.
best
so
player on the
Barcelona
planet? Is he worth
are
$500,000
paying
a week?
wages to that whole squad, which they can't afford to pay.
Is Messi worth $500,000 a week?
No footballer is worth $500,000 a week. Not one footballer on this planet.